Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Modi and Chancellor Merz deepen India-Germany strategic partnership with new MOUs across defense, trade, technology and green energy. India and Germany promote investments in clean energy, tech, defense at the India-Germany CEO Forum. Merz calls India a partner of choice. Iran says it's not seeking conflict but fully prepared for war, as it's also ready for fair negotiations. Delhi shivers as the mercury drops to 2.9 degrees Celsius. Safdarjung records 3.2 degrees Celsius minimum. Ayanagar is the coldest spot. India and Germany reiterated their commitment to deepen the bilateral partnership and advance global stability and progress during German Chancellor Friedrich Merz's visit to India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the German Chancellor held delegation-level talks in Gandhinagar. The two leaders discussed the entire gamut of bilateral relations between the two nations. The two leaders called for giving further momentum and elevating the strategic partnership. Following the talks, both sides exchanged and adopted MOUs in the fields of defense and security, trade and economy, critical and emerging technologies, science and technology, renewable energy, green hydrogen, among many others. It will create new opportunities for people and businesses, especially the youth. Prime Minister Modi described India-Germany relations as strong and expanding across key sectors, including trade, technology and innovation.
रक्षा और सुरक्षा में बढ़ता सहयोग हमारे आपसी भरोसे और साझी सोच का प्रतीक है। रक्षा व्यापार से जुड़ी प्राथमिकताओं को सरल बनाने के लिए मैं चांसलर मर्ज का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हम रक्षा उद्योगों के बीच सहयोग बढ़ाने के लिए एक रोडमैप उस पर भी काम करेंगे, जिससे को डेवलपमेंट और को प्रोडक्शन के नए अवसर खुलेंगे। माइग्रेशन, मोबिलिटी और स्किलिंग बढ़ाने पर विशेष बल दिया गया है। भारत की टैलेंटेड युवा शक्ति जर्मनी की अर्थव्यवस्था में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दे रही है। आज ग्लोबल स्किल्स पार्टनरशिप पर जारी जॉइंट डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंटेंट इसी भरोसे का प्रतीक है। इससे खास तौर पर हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल्स की आवाजाही आसान होगी।
India-Germany economic ties are scaling new heights, driving mutual growth and innovation-led progress. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz, also held productive discussions with Indian and German business leaders at the CEO Forum in Ahmedabad. The talks focused on accelerating investments in clean energy and green hydrogen, semiconductors, defense, manufacturing, engineering, digitization and finance. Also flagship areas which are powering economic partnership and creating skilled jobs for the youth. The German Chancellor Merz said that India is a desired partner, a partner of choice for Germany.
Technological transformation and geopolitical uncertainty affect the way our economies operate and compete. Against this backdrop, the partnership between Germany and India is a strategic asset, economically, politically, and in a global context. I want to share with you three brief observations. First, India's and Germany's trade and investment relationship. India is an important trading partner for Germany, and the trade volume between the EU and India is at a record high.
Well, Suzanne Renate Kunschert, director at Pils India Private Limited, described Prime Minister Narendra Modi as her role model adding that the Prime Minister has built a strong and enduring foundation for India. She highlighted that by aligning and working together, India and Germany can make great progress in various sectors.
Mr. Modi is a role model for me. I learned a lot from him. I also read books from philosophers that he had mentioned, so he's a great role model. And with this foundation that he's bringing into India of the old philosophers and the values he's giving us, bringing forward the companies, this is the success we can make. So I feel very much aligned to India, and the success will be there if we align well and if we bring things forward.
At the India-Germany CEO Forum, Ralph Wintergerst, the CEO of Jizaku and Devrient, said that its assets of both India and Germany are put together, and Germany's precision and India's scale and talent, they can create great things.
If you see the assets of both countries, German precisions, India's scale, India's talent, then if we put both things together, we can create great things. And I believe we start doing so. I'm in India for 25 years, so I'm a witness of how India is growing. So I believe in that statement.
Briefing the media on the German Chancellor's visit to India, the Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that the visit of the Chancellor Friedrich Merz, it provides an opportunity for both nations to review their rich and important partnership and to set an ambitious agenda for the future. He said that the Chancellor made remarks on the changing world order and reiterated Germany's strong support for India-EU free trade agreement.
Chancellor, for instance, remarked on the changing world order, the instability that global order is facing, and why in this context it is ever more important for India and Germany to take their relationship to a new level and to do more, to do much more, in fact, in his words. And in this context, he laid particular emphasis on Germany's very strong support for the early conclusion of the India-EU FTA. As you are all aware, in another fortnight's time, the EC President and the European Council President both will be visiting New Delhi, where we hope to take these discussions forward towards a favorable conclusion.
The Foreign Secretary also emphasized the importance of people-to-people ties and highlighted the growing Indian expatriate community in Germany, including students and people of Indian origin residing there.
The people-to-people relationship, the growing Indian expatriate community in Germany, including students. There are today nearly 60,000 students in Germany and nearly 300,000 people of Indian origin in Germany, a number that has grown quite significantly in just the last half a dozen years or so. And it was heartening to hear Chancellor Merz extend a hearty welcome to this expatriate community, to Indian students, to skilled workers from India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, they inaugurated the International Kite Festival 2026 along the west bank of the Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad. As many as 1,071 kite flyers, including 135 from 50 countries, 65 from 13 Indian states as well, and 871 from 16 districts of Gujarat. They are participating in this festival. Germany, Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Jordan, Australia, Indonesia, these are some of the countries participating. Tanvi Taneja sent us this report.
A bright, warm, sunny day in Ahmedabad with brisk breezes to lift the kites aloft along the Sabarmati riverfront. The International Kite Festival, underway from 12th to 14th of January in Gujarat, brings with it the message of peace and harmony. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz took a heritage walk at the specially curated Ambavad site for the occasion. 108 Indian musicians presented the Grand Gujarat Symphony for the German Chancellor. The two leaders later also tried a hand at kite flying in the festive atmosphere. Multiple kites of Indian tricolour embedded in one string with Operation Sindoor mast was another highlight of the festival. Kite flyers from 50 countries and 13 Indian states participated in this festival.
I love your Prime Minister. Okay. So brilliant and
big kite festival. I visit 30 kite festival international. Gujarat Kite Festival very nice. Many country delegation participating in here. I made Indian flag kite, Delta kite, very nice.
This year I'm making a Gujarat kite. That Gujarat kite is displayed all over the Gujarat in that Gir jungles, that city side Jalis, then Statue of Unity, then play of the kites, then Navratri, then Somnath temple, everything Chaki is in my kites.
It's a wonderful feeling. It's a wonderful event, one of the biggest kite festivals in the country. So I would like to request all the viewers that, you should get into the kite flying. It's not just for the entertainment. It have a lot of health benefits too. Postural correction, it's a kind of wellness therapy, holistic therapy for your frozen neck or text neck or the cervical problems, eyesight, lack of vitamin D. You get out of your comfortable space in the AC rooms and cabins, come into the ground, get more sunlight.
So in the heritage city of Ahmedabad, kite flying during Uttarayan is really rooted in Gujarat's cultural expression. People fly kites on January 14th every year. They transform their shared rooftops into collective spaces of joy. I'm here at the International Kite Festival on the Sabarmati riverfront, where kitists from 50 countries, 13 states are here, and there are about 1,000 plus kites flying in the sky right now. Their enthusiasm is high. The mood is very upbeat. Well, the wind is only catching up for these kites to roar higher in the sky. With camera person Anand Kachap, this is Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
Well, on the occasion of the National Youth Day today, commemorating the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the concluding session of the Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2026 at the Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. The Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue is now in its second edition, and it is a national platform designed to facilitate structured engagement between India's youth and national leadership. Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue aligns with Prime Minister's Independence Day call to engage 1 lakh youth in politics without political affiliations and to provide them with a national platform to make their ideas known for a Viksit Bharat and a reality. So Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2026 had witnessed participation from over 50 lakh youth across the country at various levels. The young leaders converging at the national level championship have been selected through a rigorous merit-based 3-stage selection process comprising a nationwide digital quiz, an essay challenge, and a state-level vision presentation. Prime Minister Modi also witnessed an exhibition on the sidelines of the event. India's Electronics and Information Technology Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw will participate in the Critical Minerals ministerial meeting to be held on Monday in the United States. Minister Vaishnaw arrived in Washington, D.C. and emphasized that securing critical mineral supply chains is vital for India's goal of Viksit Bharat. Critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, graphite, copper, and rare earth elements are essential for clean energy technologies like solar panels, wind turbines, EVs, and energy storage systems. To secure these resources, India launched the National Critical Mineral Mission, or the NCMM, in 2025 to ensure long-term availability and processing of these minerals. New Delhi continues to reel under an intense cold spell as temperatures plunged sharply across the national capital. According to the India Meteorological Department, the minimum temperature recorded at Delhi's Safdarjung Observatory on Monday stood at 3.2 degrees Celsius. On Sunday, the mercury had dipped even further to 2.9 degrees Celsius, with Ayanagar recording the lowest temperature of the day in the city. Dense fog has added to the winter woes, significantly impacting visibility across several parts of Delhi. In view of the foggy conditions, Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport has issued an advisory for passengers. Meanwhile, the Met Department has issued alerts for several states, warning that the combination of severe cold wave conditions and dense to very dense fog will continue to disrupt daily life across the northwest. Well, still to come here on DD India Live. US President Trump has urged Cuba to make a deal or face unspecified consequences. Washington Sundar is out of the ODI series against New Zealand with a rib injury. Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. Updates now from West Asia, and nationwide protests against the government continue in Iran as the unrest has entered the third week. The protests on December 28 began as demonstrations against soaring inflation and economic hardship, but they've soon escalated into tense nationwide unrest, marked by violent clashes between protesters and the security forces. The Iranian government on Sunday declared 3 days of national mourning for martyrs, including members of the security forces who've been killed in 2 weeks of protests. The Iranian state television broadcast funeral processions in western cities, including in Gachsaran and Yasuj, for security personnel killed in the protests. Meanwhile, the US President Donald Trump on Sunday said that Iran's leadership had called seeking to negotiate on the nuclear aspect after his warning of military action amid mass anti-government protests in the Islamic Republic.
Iran called to negotiate. Yesterday, the leaders of Iran called they want to negotiate. I think they're tired of being beat up by the United States. Iran wants to negotiate, yes. We may meet with them. I mean, a meeting is being set up. But we may have to act because of what's happening before the meeting. But a meeting is being set up. Iran called, they want to negotiate. Thank you very much, everybody.
Iran's foreign minister said on Monday that the Islamic Republic is ready for both war and talks after repeated threats from the US President Donald Trump to intervene militarily over a crackdown on protests that activists fear has killed hundreds. Over 2 weeks of protests initially sparked by economic grievances, they have now turned into one of the biggest challenges yet to the theocratic system that has ruled Iran since the 1979 Islamic Revolution that ousted the Shah. Now, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi told the news conference, a conference in fact of foreign ambassadors, not a news conference, in Tehran, that Iran is fully prepared for conflict but it's also ready for negotiations.
The Islamic Republic of Iran is not seeking war, but is fully prepared for war. We are also ready for negotiations, but these negotiations should be fair. with equal rights and based on with mutual respect.
The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has meanwhile expressed shock over reports of violence against protesters in Iran. He urged Iranian authorities to exercise maximum restraint and refrain from unnecessary or disproportionate use of force. He also urged for steps to be taken that enable access to information in that country, including restoring communications. The US President Donald Trump has urged Cuba to make a deal or to face unspecified consequences, warning that the flow of Venezuelan oil and money to Havana would stop now that Maduro has gone. Now, Trump said on Sunday morning that he said it in his Truth post. He said it on the Truth Social platform that he owns. He said there will be no more oil or money going to Cuba. I strongly suggest they make a deal before it is too late. He said Cuba lived for many years on large amounts of oil and money from Venezuela. In return, Cuba provided security services for the last two Venezuelan dictators, but not anymore. The social media post drew an angry retort from the Cuban president Miguel Diaz-Canel, who said that no one would tell his country what to do, while the Cuban foreign minister responded by saying that his nation retained the right to import fuel without interference. Meanwhile, Venezuela's government, in a statement, called for political and diplomatic dialogue between Washington and Havana. The U.S. Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell, said on Sunday that the Trump administration had threatened him with a criminal indictment and also grand jury subpoenas over congressional testimony that he gave last summer regarding a Federal Reserve building renovation project. So, in fact, Powell was he has called this action a pretext which is aimed at putting pressure on him and the central bank to lower interest rates. The veteran Bangladeshi singer and Awami League leader Proloy Chaki has died while in custody, sparking allegations of negligence and denial of medical care by his family. Chaki, a popular singer of the 1980s who regularly performed on Bangladesh television alongside his brother Moloy Chaki, was the Cultural Affairs Secretary of the Pabna District Awami League. And he was arrested on December 16 last year from his residence in a case linked to an alleged attack during the anti-discrimination student movement and later sent to jail. Prison authorities said that he had been suffering from diabetes and other ailments and was taken to hospital after suffering a stroke and later a heart attack. However, Chaki's family alleged that he was subject to prolonged mental and physical torture in prison and was denied proper medical treatment for months. India's all-rounder Washington Sundar has been ruled out of the one-day series against New Zealand. He suffered an injury, a rib injury, in the opening match in Vadodara. The 26-year-old walked off midway through the New Zealand innings and did not return to the field on Sunday. Despite the discomfort, he later came out to bat at number 8 as India picked a 4-wicket win. Washington is the third Indian player to pick an injury, the wicketkeeper batter Rishabh Pant being the other, was ruled out from the ongoing series after suffering a side strain last week. And then Tilak Verma is also unavailable for the first 3 T20 internationals against New Zealand because of a groin injury. Well, Delhi is set for a badminton spectacle as it hosts the BWF India Open 2026 from the 13th of January to the 18th of January. Over 200 global stars, including PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen, are competing at the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium. Tapas Bhattacharya has the report. Delhi is all set to turn into a badminton carnival as the capital hosts the BWF India Open 2026, India's premier international badminton tournament. With over 200 top players from across the globe, all eyes will be on the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium, New Delhi, as the tournament gets underway from January 13 to 18. Fans can look forward to seeing some of the biggest names in the sport in action, including world number 1 An Si Young, India's Olympic medalist PV Sindhu, star doubles pair Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty, and Commonwealth champion Lakshya Sen.
As an athlete, as a player, we try and give our 100% no matter what. And yeah, finally, I think it's a great pleasure to be here today. And I think it's always nice to play in Delhi because every year, starting the year, of course, we had Malaysian Open, but I think, in Jan, playing the Indian Open, it's always nice to play at the start of the year, new year, fresh year. So I hope we get some good results here.
The event promises world-class action and an enhanced fan experience, marking a major step forward for badminton in India. Adding to its significance, the US $950,000 India Open will serve as a test event ahead of India hosting the prestigious BWF World Championship in August this year. And after a hiatus of 17 years, underlining the country's growing stature on the global badminton stage.
As a player, I think we have seen the evolution of the India Open since last 15 odd years, and I think to be a part of that amazing journey and to see that the tournament is growing every year bigger and bigger, I think it's a big proud moment for us as players.
The spotlight will be on young Indian sensations Unnati Huda and Ayush Shetty, eager to make their mark on the big stage. As Delhi gears up for 6 days of high-intensity matches, the India Open 2026 promises thrills, passions and top-class badminton. Tapas Bhattacharya's report for DD India. Well, that's all we have in this edition of DD India Live, but let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. Available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Mark Lynn from all of us here in Delhi. Thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.